All right, I want to share some things with everyone here as someone who has previously lost over 100 pounds. In fact, I've had to do it twice. Long story as to how that happened. I obviously did it the first time, when I was a young man, 19 to 20 age range, got really into fitness, into lifting. My early 30s, I got really sick, spent like 10 months in bed, gained a bunch of weight, had to kind of relearn to walk again, dealt with depression, overeating while I was really sick. Ballooned back up to like 300 pounds and then, eventually got all the way back down to 200 after that. And here's what I look like now. I mean, I'm now 47, almost 48, pretty lean, fit guy, just over 200 pounds, visible abs, decently lean, fit person, with a good strength base. Have competed, at the national level and higher in powerlifting. And some lessons I've learned, guys. People will always ask me, what are the secrets to fat loss and sustained fat loss? And honestly, it's not about magic secrets. It's just about consistency and mindset and accepting that things take time. Like that is the number one thing I've learned in my journey with doing this. When people ask, what is the magic secret? Like, the magic secret is that there's no shortcuts, right? Shortcuts don't always work. And I'm not saying that if your doctor thinks you should get a Lat-Ban or Ozempic or something that you should ignore that. I'm not saying you shouldn't use those methods. I want to be clear on that, particularly, if you're under the advisement of a medical doctor. I did it without all that. I did it without fat burning drugs. I did it without, medical procedures. I just came in and changed my lifestyle, and some of the take homes I can say with that, a lot of different diets work. It's not about, hey, the one magic diet. No, I've lost weight at different points through this using wide varieties of methods, higher carbs, lower fat, balanced diets, low carb diets. I've done all of it, guys. And I can say that to some extent, all of it works, okay? What is important is the change in lifestyle. What's important is reducing the amount of refined foods and junk you eat, increasing protein, increasing fiber, lifting weights, being physically active, okay? Those really and truly are the game changers, okay? Those are the game changers. That is what matters, right? That is what matters. Because that is where we see the change. That is where we see the long-term change in energy balance. That's where we see the long-term change in our metabolic rate, okay? We're playing a long game here. And remember, there's no shortcuts. And when I tell people, muscle mass burns calories. So right off the bat, I'm going to say, if you're trying to pursue that long-term lean body to finally lose all that fat, and in my case, I lost over 100 pounds of fat. Okay. And as far as that second one goes, I pretty well kept it off. Again, you guys see how I'm looking right now. This is what I look like today. All right. It's about the lifestyle. It's about gaining muscle mass. And I cannot stress that enough. Muscle mass is your best friend. And people say, but there are some lifters who have a lot of body fat. Yeah, but how much fatter would they be if they didn't have that 50 pounds of muscle that they gained? Okay, they would be way worse. They're still way leaner than if they hadn't done it. Unless they forcibly overate to get really big, for strength or whatever. But generally speaking, muscle is your friend. It will let you eat more food. It will let you lose fat more quickly. It will keep your metabolic rate higher. And it's not just the metabolism from the muscle gain. It's the training you do to gain and keep the muscle burns through calories. It has an EPOC, afterburn effect. It takes your energy up. And the studies now are showing that weightlifting is just as good for cardio, for fat loss as cardio. That's what it's showing. So the same thing with protein. High protein has always been the key. Why? Protein has a higher thermic effect. It has good satiation, so you eat less calories, you burn more calories, and it partitions you towards gaining more muscle. Okay, that combination makes you just burn more calories because it is an energy balance equation. Body fat is an energy storage tank. It's like a big fuel cell of the excess stuff you eat that gets stored away for later. So if you're reducing and we're cutting through that reserve, and I don't care whether you do a high carb, a low carb, a higher fat, lower fat, it's still at the end of the day about that energy balance, and it matters. Okay? Gaining muscle, staying physically active, avoiding junk, avoiding your trigger foods. Next behind the protein, though, is making sure your diet is pretty high in fiber. Fibrous foods improve satiety, meaning they reduce appetite. You just eat less. You stay fuller longer. You absorb everything better. You end up with better insulin response, better insulin sensitivity, better blood sugar control, more stable energy levels. So what does all that mean? That means you're going to burn calories easier. You're going to eat less fuel and you're going to burn more fuel in general. All right, that helps us with the body fat. It reduces the amount of fat you gain if you do mess up. That's kind of the key too, because we're not perfect, right? None of us are perfect. We're going to mess up. We're going to eat bad on occasion. We're going to do those things. All this gives you a buffer against it. It basically just mitigates the damage to some extent. When you mess up, it gives you more wiggle room. That's a nice thing to have when we are imperfect human beings. Okay? That's a real nice thing to have. Those are the keys, guys. And then all of that helps you lose it easier. If you can eat 500 more calories every single day because you burn more while losing the same weight, how much easier does that make it? Okay, these are lifestyle changes. The lifestyle, and then all of that too. All these habits create better overall habits. And when we have good habits, it becomes less work because it becomes our normal. And that's the other part of the equation. All these things are just good habits. Habits are what build discipline. We're not born with discipline. Okay, we need to understand that. It's not about, oh, I'm just a disciplined person. No, you make yourself into one through those small daily habits. Just making yourself lift, just making yourself eat more protein, trying to eat more fiber. That builds habits. Those habits turn into other habits. And when they become habits, they get easy. They get easy. It makes it not hard anymore. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. And I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.